Hello and welcome to a video with me, Raindell. Today we'll be taking a look at some other class matches. I am in Diamond Master, not the top tier. I'm between rank, say 400 and 200, depending on how my matches go in a given day. But I do get a lot of matches against maxed out Yuna with Bahamut and the whole kit. So I thought it would be interesting to show you guys how those fights go with my current team. That's built to be able to handle these kind of matchups, and I tried to build a team that could fight just about anyone. So first, let's take a look at that team. And we're running Winter Viktora, whose her role is either a physical tank if we're fighting physical enemies, because she has the Paladin sub-job. And then if we are fighting mages, we'll use Mashari's TMR from Ellshra to give a magic barrier. Well, a barrier that shields against all types of damage to everybody, so that's a way to make up for the lack of a magical barrier on our team. Frederica's mainly there to deal with evasion. Originally I was running Nivlu and I preferred the setup for every matchup except for evasion, but I was running into a lot of evasion teams, so I kind of switched her in so we can have access to guaranteed hits. So I'll be showing you this team. So that's it. Don't want to dwell too long on my team. Let's go into battle. Alright, so this time we're fighting an opponent that's in Diamond Master. They have pretty much, I would say, the strongest team I can think of right now in the current meta. So our only hope of beating them is staying far from them. First thing I do is check out their stats, and Yuna has 1300 magic. That's pretty insane. If she has the chance to attack someone, she'll probably take us out in one hit. Our team, though, is built to have more range than those enemy teams, and with Mashari's TMR on Ellshra, we should be able to take one hit from Halloween Little Lila or Sakura, and then they're going to kill us on the second hit. Sakura gets the re-raise from her own from Halloween Ryu's TMR, and then Yuna is casting re-raise as well, but on Halloween Little Lila. So here in the early turn, I don't have much of a reason to wait, so I decide to attack right away. That means I'm giving up the barrier from Ellshra because she won't be able to reach, but in exchange I'm trying to take as much health out of Halloween Little Lila before they have the time to get all their buffs in and just be ready to destroy me. And at that point, I do go for a Knight's Blessing, protecting Frederica. And the character with the most HP on our team is Winter Viktora, so she's the one that has the less chance, I guess, of getting one-shot by magic attacks, even without a barrier. So at that point, my goal is to take out the enemy quickly, because they have heals, they have revives, and we don't. So if it's a drawn-out fight, we are definitely going to lose it. So at that point, Yuna is casting her a heal probably on Halloween Little Lila, and we kill her, but then she's going to come back to life, and Yuna's heal will probably land. So that's definitely not great, but at least we managed to take out one of their re-raises at that point. Now, Halloween Little Lila gets to act and can hit whoever she wants, and she can hit actually several people on our team, so that's definitely not good. And then at that point, we're lucky. We get a reflex. Now, this would not have been a kill on Frederica, but it would have put her to about the same amount of HP that Ellshra currently has, so that's still pretty bad. Now he comes with Sakura, and had Frederica taken the first hit, Sakura could have killed her. But instead, she chooses to go for our Winter Viktora. And I'm not sure that's the wise choice. I think they needed to kill our Bale carriers, probably. But since she can't one-shot us, we're able to begin hitting Halloween Little Lila again. And I don't have 100% hit chance here, but I take the attack anyways, and manage to hit with 88%, so that's good. Otherwise, that is probably the difference between a win and a lose here. Our Ellshra has a ton more accuracy, so she can actually hit reliably on Halloween Little Lila. So now I've killed the same character twice and they don't have any revive. Also, their Yuna's pretty far back, so she can't revive right away. And that's pretty important, because if I had been focusing fire on Sakura, for example, well, she would be able to come back to life again, and then she would be in position to hit us. But as it stands, the enemy Yuna is not in range, so the only real threat currently is Sakura. So now I need to find a way to kill Sakura. And another thing I want to point out is I was really lucky that Yuna's counter did not proc there, because whenever her counter procs, she goes back to full life, and I need basically one frame, one attack in which her counter doesn't proc, so I can kill her on the second hit. Otherwise, she stays alive and then kills us. And at that point, what's going to help us a lot is that Frederica gets another turn before Yuna goes. So the enemy team has just a little bit less agility than would be needed, and that allows us to probably kill her. So Sakura takes out our Winter Venera, but at that point we can clean up both their party members, because Ellshra deals a ton of damage and is able to take out just about anyone who's in her range. And then we have Frederica that can probably kill Yuna, because we have a lightning and missile chain of 1, but that's still quite a bit of extra damage, so sharpshoot is enough to kill her. Again, had she got her counter proc and healed back to life, this would not have been an option, and we would have been forced to finish Sakura instead, and then we would have to do some cheeky quicken play to possibly take out Yuna. So at that point, the match is pretty much over, because even if Sakura manages to kill Ellshra, there is no way for her to survive the following attack from Frederica. So we do end up winning. Alright, so in this battle again, we're fighting a Diamond Master. They have just about the same team that we've seen in the previous video, but that's actually a fight from the day before, so definitely not the same person. And then this time they have 1400 magic on Yuna, so that's pretty insane. And I find that a lot of teams with this composition start in a corner, probably because they don't want to get bursted before they have the chance to use their all their re-raise stuff. But in my case, this works in my favor, because that allows us to use bells and then apply our own barriers, which is huge, because without barriers, we just get one-shot by them when they get close, and we immediately die. And something I like with these teams, or at least in this class match, I find that there's not a lot of stalling. People just rush to each other, and my typical match lasts 5 to 10 minutes at most, so I don't get 20-minute matches where it's a staring contest where people try to not get in the other guy's range. So it's something I like. I'm not an especially patient player, so if there can be some action early, I'm a big fan of that. In this fight, I don't decide to go forward too quickly, because I don't want to get one shot, so I'm hesitating a little bit here in the beginning, but instead of going for the crystal in this occasion and immediately attacking the enemy, then I decide to use a buff that's going to give us more damage and a little bit more range. That just might be the difference between me being able to hit the enemy while being out of their range and not. So that's the main reason I do that. But I do kind of make a mistake in my positioning, because if I had just moved Viktora down instead of behind Frederica, we would have been able to give a barrier to both of them. As it stands, only Frederica and Ellshra have that barrier, and that means the enemy probably has the ability to one-shot our Winter Viktora. So now Winter Viktora has 100% defense penetration and missile attack up from Frederica, and then Frederica is at her maximum damage in terms of what our team can give her with our buffs. So we really want to attack them in the next couple of turns. And I'm thinking of running away, but I end up just deciding to not move too far from them. The idea here is I want them to allow me the first hit. If they hit us first, it will take them only 2 hits to kill all of us. But with all the revives that they have, it's going to take us 2 to 3 hits to kill them. So we really need that edge where we attack first, because that's going to make all the difference. So they're moving into position and they decide to flank us, which I think is interesting and definitely plays in our favor. I think they're worried about the AoE from Frederica, but moving Yuna away from the rest of their team means that they don't get access to full life, and that's a pretty big deal for us. So now Yuna's on top, she's ready to flank, but we're able to all get in range and have two people attack Halloween Little Leelas. We're actually able to take her out in one hit, and that's huge because now she revives, but Ellshra can attack her as well before she gets a turn. So we will be able to effectively take her out of the fight because she's not in range to get revived by Yuna. So perhaps my opponent was a little bit hasty and gave me this opportunity, but I'm not going to let it go. So we take her out twice, but what that means is we are in a position where Sakura can now probably drop her limit break on several of our team members. And here I decide to hit, I think, Sakura rather than hitting Yuna. Because if I hit Yuna, she just might heal back to full, and that's not to my advantage. So yeah, I do a little bit of thinking, but it is Sakura that I target because she doesn't have a chance to just take no damage at the end of the day. This Yuna is pretty squishy compared to some others that I've seen with 6000 HP, but still 5.3k is too much for me to one-shot her, so I need some kind of strategy where I can hit her several times in a row, and I need her to not get her counter off. Otherwise, it's like my attack didn't land. It's a very powerful counter. So she's in position to hit us, but we're a lot lower from her current position, so she cannot drop her limit break on us. And that's very important. If I had decided to go up so I can get a little bit more range, she would have been able to hit us and probably kill us. So now Sakura begins her attack. We can see her really cool limit break, and she does a ton of damage. And look at the HP remaining on both our team members. Viktora did not have a barrier, so she just barely survives thanks to her high HP. And it is the barrier that saves Ellshra. If she were to take 30% more damage from that, she would have definitely died. But as it stands, she manages to survive the hit. Now I'm checking to see if she can hit Yuna, but the height difference plays against me again, so it saved me against Yuna's limit break, but it means that I can't hit Yuna immediately. So instead, I finish off Sakura, and now we're in a position where Yuna can kill whoever she wants, but no matter who she kills, the other two are going to be able to hit her. So that's why I spread out my team as much as I could. So it's kind of a game of chance here. If Yuna gets a ton of counter where she heals and heals and heals back, she might have a shot at winning. But if she doesn't, we will be able to kill her before she does anything. So I decide to stay in place and hit her without moving to try to get a double turn on her, because that gives us one more chance to attack. But I realized that I still don't get a turn because of all the agility from Bahamut, so after realizing that, I then moved to try to get out of her range. And that's something you can do. If you act first, you can then see what the new turn order is, if you move or not, and that allows you, that helps you in your decision making. Alright, that was it. Hopefully you guys found it entertaining. I'm definitely not the best at live PvP, but I found it very interesting that my ranged team was able to take on those enemy teams. And even if Sakura were to use her protection against lightning, or sometimes I'm fighting Yuna, Sakura, and Ellshra, and Ellshra, and then Ellshra uses double resist. But with the Dispel spread, those buffs don't really mean much because we can remove the resistances before dealing damage. So overall, I think my team is pretty solid. What does beat me almost every time though are solid double quicken comps. For example, comps that will boost Dwayne immediately in the middle of my team and just kill everybody before they get a turn. That has happened a couple times. So I'm not saying this team is super strong, but against those Yuna, Sakura, and whoever else is the extra team, they seem to perform pretty well. So that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. It will make it more likely that you see my content in the future. And then, thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.